people turn the heat up, you hit you in the mouth, and we don't respond. So that's what I told them. You gotta respond. It's simple. Until they do that, we won't win many games against good people. So I put the defense in a bad way because when we weren't moving the ball, then I tried to blitz to try to hold the ball and keep them where they were, and we gave up some big plays, and it's probably my fault. So it's we're going one way and they're running the counter the other. So, but I thought they fought hard. We needed to still tackle better. Did, but it wasn't bad. But I thought they fought and did things they needed to do.
What makes you think the offense needs to grow up, or they're lacking?
No, we got to get better up front. Really across the board, we got thrown around by everybody. Wide receivers, we dropped balls. We didn't block anybody in the perimeter. We just gonna have to grow up or go recruit. That's what I told them I'm doing. I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going recruiting. You gotta grow up.
Did you think they were getting there at some point this year?
No. But you can't. You're never gonna get any better if you're negative all the time. But you gotta call it the way you gotta call it. And it's just the way it is. They gotta grow up. You can't be shaking your head and putting your head down when you get beat. You gotta grow up. That's what 4-year-olds do. It's not what men do. You gotta grow up.
Could you say the same thing about the quarterbacks too, that they need to grow up as well?
Well, you guys can't say anything about the quarterbacks. They both played a half. About the same production. So.
I just mean from the entire year.
Yeah, I don't think it's been one of the. I don't think it was because of effort. That Kenny's running. I mean, when he got hurt on the final one, he's running all over the place. If anything, we probably should have brought him in a little bit sooner. But I think Sonny wanted to give him Foster a chance and not feel like we were, as soon as it wasn't going the way we needed to get him out of there. But it's bottom line is when you have to beat people with your feet, you got to beat them with your feet. We played the best defense in the league, and they treated us like they were the best defense in the league.
What you thought on that call late or in the first quarter where it looked like Ertz had fumbled the ball and they called an incomplete pass?
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to talk about that. There was 5 or 6 things that I want to see on film before I have any conversations. Yes, Mr. Gill?
Do Sonny and Doug share your same concerns on offense, or do they feel like you have to grow up, or are they looking more?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really talked to him. I haven't really talked to him about that, but I will. We never have those kind of conversations till the season's over, and the season's over. We got 1 week to go recruiting. Like I said last week, it's a hindrance because anybody that plays on this day lost a week of recruiting. And so I'll be heading out tomorrow, try to make up some time, along with all the rest of the coaches. So.
Is it fair to say that your recruiting would include not just high school kids, but
Yes.
but beyond?
Mm-hmm.
With you guys having a chance to work out for bowl practices, is this a chance for you to give the younger guys a chance to compete for some of those starting jobs already?
If they were in that position, we'd already tried them. They need a hold, but we may not throw a football during bowl practices if they're not careful. So, but you got to be careful. You got to get the guys to the bowl practice. You got to get them to the game. So, but we're a 6-6 football team. Pretty simple. They're an 8-4 football team.
Here, there was a 4th and short early in the third quarter, midway through. Score was still manageable. Did you think about?
It's on our field now. It's on like the 37-yard line.
Not the time.
You know, I'm not a real big guy when they stuff you on 3rd and short to go on and go on 4th and short. Usually it comes with you're feeling good about yourself and you can move people around and do things. We weren't moving anybody, so. And that's not fair to all of them. We've got to grow up.
How was Kyle running today? Was he effective? But thought he
Who?
might be Kyle Hicks.
It was all again. You got to give Kansas State some credit. I think they have a good football team. They're only giving up 100 yards rushing a game, like 108. So you're talking about a team that played there. Really, two of their losses, they lost 17-16 to West Virginia, at West Virginia, and really probably had Oklahoma State beat at the end. And so, you know, you very easily they could be a 10-2 football team right now, just like we could be a 8-4 football team right now.
We saw you calmly discussing the play with the officials, but what reason did they give you for picking up the flag on the pick play?
Like I said, I gotta see it. But I mean, some of those calls, you know, they change ball games. That's the thing that upsets me. If you're gonna throw it, then throw it, or don't throw it. But I need to see it before I can have a comment.
I think Mike Pereira said on TV, you know, the officiating, he said that was.
Oh, yeah, it got stopped in front, I mean, but.
You mentioned your coordinators wanted to see something from Foster, and that's why it took a while for Kenny to get into the game. Is that the reason that Foster?
No, I didn't say that. Did I say that? I said we started him. I said we probably should have brought Kenny in sooner, is what I said. But we started him, he got hurt, he didn't practice, kind of like the week before, he didn't practice most of the week, so.
Did you think Foster was effective with what he,
I didn't think either one of them. We scored 7 points,
I mean,
6, whatever it is we got up there.
his decisions and the way he operated the
I don't
team?
know. I'll watch the film tomorrow.
Was this effort comparable to the Oklahoma State game?
I don't know if effort's the word. I think defensively, I think there was a lot of effort. I think there was a lot of effort in their first half, just like the Kansas State game, just like the Oklahoma State game. That game was, 10-6, just like this one was. You gotta come up and turn up the knob, especially at home. You know, defensively, we've allowed 18 points a game on the road, and we've allowed 30 on the road when we played at home. That's kind of unusual. That'll help us next year. Help us in the bowl game because we're not playing at home. But the key is you gotta grow up, and you gotta do it. Like I told him, we dropped balls. I thought Taj could have dove for the post route in the middle of the field. I mean, you gotta grow up. So we need to grow up.
Growing up, is there just an overall lack of leadership from
I
offense?
don't think so. You guys are trying to build into it. We're 6-6. Last week we were a hero. We beat Texas. Now we're, you want to. Key is we're 6-6. We're not accustomed to being that. So we have a standard. That's how we play. And I'm not going to sit here and crucify people. If anybody blame me, you want to talk about something, the head coach didn't get it done. I'm a big boy. So Coach Patterson needs to handle his team a lot better. They need to grow up. That should be your hairlines. That's okay with me. But we're not stopping. We never stop. We were 5-6 in 2004, and you guys laughed at me when I told you we were going to go to BCS games. You all thought I should have been done when we were 4-8 in 2013, and then we came back and won 23 and lost 3. We're 6-6 this year. It's not my first rodeo, nor will it be my last. I was happy with the student section that was here. I wasn't happy with the rest of it. You need to finish the deal. We want to win championships. We want people to have TCU be a belong. Then everybody's rain or shine. Everybody's got to be there. We're all either going to be all in or all out. One of the two. Because I promise you, we were in Manhattan, Kansas, and it was like that. It would have been packed. Would not have been any different. So.
Senior day, Josh Caraway, James McFarland, those guys, but what do you say to those guys before the game?
Oh, no, all of it, Care, love them to death. Josh had tears in his eyes after the game. He cares, he knows, he knows what it's like. He's been part of 40 wins, 5 years, 40 wins. 40 wins. part of the goods and the bad, but he's been part of 40 wins. So he knows what TCU is supposed to be like. Okay? And he was getting after some guys on the sideline, so he needs to. That's what needs to happen down there. And not defensively, not defensive guys. You need to grow up. But I mean, I know a lot of people need to grow up. So, including me. You ask my wife. So, get used to day-to-day basis. But, you know, like I said last week, they haven't been thrown a great, all the breaks you have and what you need to do. So we found a way to get back to a bowl game, and that's what I'm gonna go forward with. We're getting to a bowl game, we got 15 practices. You guys asked me sitting in here last week, somebody asked me, will there be a difference if you're 6-6 or 7-5? And I said, I don't know. We want one more. But the key is, you know, if you're looking at long range, whether we were 6-6 or we won today, there would still be things we gotta change. You still gotta work on them, that's what you do. So in my opinion, to be honest with you, even if we'd have found a way to win today, still would have been probably about the same way, about things we need to work on. It's not a short range program. It's not what we're trying to get accomplished. It's a long range program that's been built. That's why I tell people about 5 or 6 more years, because the median right now is, we've been here 19 years, so the median is about 40 years old. The ones that are used to winning all the time, and then you have the ones over 40, and in about another 6 years, then the median will be closer to 50 that's used to winning all the time. Then I don't know if I can handle that group anymore. Let somebody else, I just want to go to the tailgates. Then I can be the guy complaining. The sausage isn't hot enough. The drink's not strong enough. So, it won't be complaining about football, I'll promise you that. I have a hard time even going, when I go watch high school coach players, I gotta walk the cable, because listen to everybody in the stands, I can't handle them get after coaches and players and all the things they do. I don't sit in the stands. And so, I'm not gonna be one when I get done, I can promise you that. I'll be the critic of the water, of the Gatorade, which one, the purple or the red or the green or the lime, and see which ones actually was mixed the best. And I'll bring some to Gil.
Do you look at the bowl game as the last chapter in this season, or turning the page for the next?
For me, when you play in some of them where it's the last chapter because you're trying to help kids finish, for me, this will be probably a 50-50. I'll try to, as a coach, I will try to finish the season for the seniors. And then the other half of me is gonna be, we're gonna spend whatever practice we get getting ready for the bowl game, to start growing this team up to do what we need to do. You don't wait till next March when you start spring ball. So for me, we'll, and that's the way I addressed them in the locker room today. It's, you know, there's not any, it's well documented, I'm tough on the defensive guys, but you know, the defensive guys always, even in life, they seem to be handling everything. You gotta grow. I told them, if I have to, that's where I'll spend my time. I'll be on the other end, all this bowl practices, and all through the spring. It's simple. You gotta grow up. You gotta get mature. There's a responsibility that goes along with playing in a championship level program. And it takes more work. It takes more work to win ball games and stay at a high level than it is to be average. Anybody can be average. So I'm not going to accept average. When I get to where I have to accept average, then you won't have to get rid of me at TCU. I'll find somewhere else to go coach. Simple as that. Average is not part of anything I do. Or I would just became a CEO and not call defenses and did it the way we've done it. A lot of people other do it. That's what I love about Coach Snyder, he's in the middle of all of it. I mean, he's been doing it, he just won his 201 game, and he's still got the play sheet, still right in the middle of it, still calling plays, still going after it, love it. It's the essence of what the game is all about. It's not about the money, it's not about the size of the crowds, it's about the game that's played on the field. And when you get tired of what's going on the field, then you need to get out of the game. Because that's what's gonna ruin the game, is the people that don't want it, they're not about the game. So,
Gary, did a lot of the toughness you're talking about on offense leave last year when you're quarterback?
no, you got Big V starting for the Eagles. I mean, the last 3 years, you got some guys, ever since the Rose Bowl, you got some guys that have played here. You got Joey Hunt's playing, he started the other night for the Seattle Seahawks. You've lost some good players, we've got some young players, some guys need to grow up. That's what I told the young guys. It's not so much, even as much the guys that played today. It's the guys behind them. You gotta grow up, you have to have competition, you need to grow up. But you know, that's what you tell young football teams. But you can't break them down so much that they never can come back. And that's the thing that you gotta realize, that, we gotta grow up. Because what they'll find out is, it's kind of like that old saying where, people are complaining, well, nobody cares. 50% don't care at all, and the other 50% are glad that it's happening to you, because it's not happening to them. So, I mean, you gotta, when things aren't going well, if you're not careful, you'll be standing by yourself. And so, that's what they gotta realize. Love them to death. The thing that sometimes people don't get with coaches, nobody wants to be the driving guy. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to make guys grow up. Nobody wants to be the hard parent. I mean, nobody wants to be that guy, or lady, or mom. But if you do it, you give them an opportunity to make it later in life. I know if I do it, I give them an opportunity to grow up and be a better football team. Simple. We got a lot of young players. We got 7 seniors that basically played today. Okay, so we have a lot of guys that need to grow up, and maturity is part of the deal. And so, it doesn't mean that I don't like them. I mean, it doesn't mean anything like that. It just means, you guys want me to be up here, and you guys want a straight line story. Because I used to sit in staff meetings with guys, and when we went around the room, you had to talk about your position, and that position guy got that part of the team got their butts kicked. And they go, well, this guy played pretty decent, and he played pretty decent, he played, whoa. They all played pretty decent, but we just gave up 50 points. I don't understand that concept. And so, you gotta come in, and you gotta give them hope. And hope comes in many looks. So, we'll find out which way we need to do all that, and go from there with it. But it's not a small process. And, you'd be really surprised. There's a lot of people that know about TCU, guys that'll have a possibility coming here. So we need to go help ourselves, and we need to go recruit and go about our business, and hopefully we can get some of them that's going to make us better. So we got some guys coming in early already that are going to make us better this spring. I mean, I'm excited about it.
Anything else for Coach?